is a new thing I'm gonna do, and it's just gonna be an update about the universe. And I wanted to do this because we're all one, and we go through similar trials, or maybe they're even different trials. But I think by reflecting my own experiences to you guys and how I'm feeling is relatable, and it can be a mirror to you. That can help you in your life, and also it's just interesting because I think I live a pretty interesting lifestyle. So let's get right into this episode of Universe Update. Yo, hello, how does it go? Welcome and namaste. Alright, so there's a lot to update you about. If you watched my last video, this will kind of be like a lot more like interesting, I guess you could say, because like I kind of left on a cliffhanger in my last video, but you don't have to watch my last video to enjoy this one, because I'll kind of fill you in. But before we get into all that, just want to show you how I start my mornings. Went and bought some blueberries and some raspberries. This is a 99-cent store. I mean, I'm not sure what states they're in, but it's like an amazing store. Everything's like $1. I even got a mango. $1. But happy I got my fruit and got my medicine, marijuana. I'm gonna take a hit. Thank you for my abundance. Today, I intend to share the medicine with all those that I may. I intend for today to be magical, full of presence and gratitude. Today I intend to be focused, flowing, powerful. Arha Mahadev, Sadek, peace be with us. Alright. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to tell you my story of what's going on. There's blackbirds flying everywhere. I've been seeing blackbirds everywhere since I started traveling. Or crows, that's what they're called, black crows. And crows are a symbol of like mystery and magic. And it's just crazy. I've been put on this mysterious and magical journey since I started traveling. If you didn't see my last video, like I was talking about, what happened was I live in a van. This may be your first time on my channel, who knows? But my van broke down in the middle of a mountain, and long story short, I got really lucky because I barely even could get service out there. It came like every 20 minutes with one bar. But somehow I was able to call for a lift, and the guy came, and he was like a spiritual guy, and we clicked right away, and he gave me another ride after that. And so it was just really magical how that all happened. And I ended up staying in a hotel for a few nights, and the first night I stayed there, and I was like, okay, the next day there was an auction. There's a car auction, so I was going to get a car, and I was going to be able to at least have a ground spot, you know what I mean? Like, a car is much different than being entirely homeless. And so, anyway, sorry, I was looking, there was a cute girl. Took my focus. And so, I don't even know how to just say this, but anyways, I went to the auction, and at the auction, I waited there all day, and like an hour before it started, or like 30 minutes before it started, I went out to go take a smoke. So just outside the gate, and as I was walking outside the gate, the guy who was kind of like, I don't know if he's in charge, but he seemed to like, he was obviously a worker there, and he had some kind of power. Like, he came out and he was all like, "Any of you have a red Mustang?" And nobody said anything. He said, "None of you? Okay." And he started kind of like walking really fast out the gate, and I was ahead of him, so he was kind of speeding up on me, and like I was all chilled out, and I had kind of talked to that guy, like we kind of like clicked, I guess you could say, like not like we were like best friends, but like I could tell that we vibed. And anyways, I ended up stepping out of the way so he could rush past me to go do whatever he was doing, because he was on the clock, you know. And he gets out there and he kind of goes left and starts like yelling or fighting with this dude. And I took right, and I went right, and I didn't think much of it when it happened. And then literally within like a minute or something, I just hear a gunshot. Boom! And I mean, the last time I heard a gunshot was like 3 months ago, maybe not even that long, but it was at Drum Circle in Utah. And that time, when I heard that gunshot when I was at Drum Circle, I ran right towards where I heard it. Like, I just had a feeling in my soul that I was meant to go over there and be like a mediator in that moment. And I went over there and I meditated where they were all fighting. I mean, and that situation all solved itself, luckily. In this situation, I heard it, and I just started walking over there. I didn't get the same rush to go over there, though. Like, it's just like I felt like I had to go over there, because that's what I did last time. And, but as I got closer, I kind of like slowed down, and I was more like cautious. It was really dark. I didn't know who had the gun. I didn't know who was like the one that was dangerous. And there was a lot of yelling. And so, luckily, somebody else secured the gun. They got the gun out of the guy's hand. He was like holding it in the air. He's like, "I got the gun. We're good." And somebody else pinned the other guy down. And so, in that situation, it's like I felt like I just was trusting my intuition. Like, I'm not always here to be the hero. You know, like some people have that mindset. Like, if they did it, they would try and be the hero. And it's just like we all got to trust our own intuitions and know when we're meant to take an action. And so the auction ended up getting canceled because of that. We waited there for about another hour until they finally told us that, sorry, it's canceled. And everyone's cars were stuck because the cops came and they blocked everything off. So it was like, I'm kind of glad I don't have my van anymore, because now I can just walk out of here while everyone else is stuck. And so, sorry, that was messed up. But, yeah, so then after that, I just went to my hotel. Luckily, I had gotten a hotel just in case. I was like, I don't even want to risk in case I don't get a car at this auction. And it's just weird how it's all happening. Like, it all feels so divine, even though it's in the weirdest of ways. Like, I slept tonight. Now my cards are all out of money. I'm not completely broke. I have a ton of cash, but hotels don't take cash. You have to have a card. And so I'm like, fuck. And so I slept homeless tonight, or last night, and it wasn't bad. I've slept homeless in Hawaii. One sec. Har Har Mahadev. Sabek. Peace be with us. I slept almost in Hawaii, and Hawaii is a different game. It's warmer there, of course. Like, I mean, that's one of the advantages, but I wasn't even cold last night. I mean, sometimes, like, my sleeping bag, my face would come out of it, and then my face would get cold, and I went back and forth. I mean, obviously I'm sleeping outside. It's not the most luxurious, but it's Vegas, so I think I did feel a little bit more sketched out. No, I honestly didn't, because Hawaii, people get robbed in Hawaii, like, no matter what, especially if you're white, like, you're just, like, kind of a target, so it's, like, Vegas is at least, like, bigger, when Maui it's just an island, and, I mean, I heard 4, maybe 3 really loud noises, which could have been gunshots. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I'm safe, and I felt safe, like, where I was. Like, there was a moment, yesterday was a crazy day, so I mean, I filmed a video yesterday doing one of these universe updates, but I forgot to post it. I mean, last night was just crazy. I was trying to get a car all day, and yeah, and I didn't end up getting one. Everyone, like, kind of bailed. It was Saturday night, and, like, yeah, it just is what it is. And but it really got me questioning my path. The entire day was, like, really, like, for some reason it didn't feel like a bad day, but it felt like there was a lot of challenging times that happened throughout that day. Like, yeah, a lot of challenging moments. Like, I had to feel through a huge anxiety that I was holding on to. My belief with anxiety is that we hold on to anxiety. So, anxiety keeps coming up, not from new things, but anxiety that we already have, in the sense that, like, we have a thing in our mind that is programmed to feel anxiety in these kind of situations that threaten us in some way. And so it's like a lot of us are feeling anxiety in situations where we're feeling threatened, but are we actually threatened? And so yesterday I was feeling a lot of anxiety because I didn't have a car, and just all these different things that I was creating in my mind. It's like I'm having this, it's an awareness shift, you know what I mean? Like, it is an awareness shift. It's like there's one part of myself that's still identifying with everything, attaching to everything, but then there's, like, my higher self, which is, like, there's a lot of myself that is my higher self. Like, I embody my higher self in so many ways, but I'm not perfect of any means. And so yeah, so there's a part of myself that's still attaching, though, to the lower self, and I had to feel through a massive anxiety yesterday, of just, like, fear around money. We're so programmed with money. Like, it's literally, they've made money our survival. And I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist when it comes to money. Like, I believe that money is okay. You always hear people talking about, is money good or bad? And then I come out here and I'm like, money is okay. And that's how I feel about it, though. It's like, money just does what it does. The thing that kind of, like, I'm passionate about is spreading the truth. Like, so many people are just passionate about things that they actually, like, maybe don't even care about. Like, people are like, eat the rich. Like, people are so mad, like, eat the rich. And it's like, money is not the problem. I'm not saying, like, that it's unfair. I think probably people shouldn't have that much money, and people probably shouldn't have that little of money. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I understand a couple of counterpoints that other people have taught me. Like, my stepbrother Cameron, I was telling him about my experience in Hawaii where I met my guru, because he had made a joke. I mean, he was like, he told me about his travels and how he was always looking for the man on the mountain, and he never found it, is what he said. And so then I told him about my experience in Hawaii, and I was like, well, gurus are a real thing. Like, I met mine in Hawaii. He wasn't on a mountaintop, but he was at the graveyard in Paia on the beach. 4 giant sea turtles. And so he told me this. He's like, your experience when you went to Hawaii, when you went and you lived in a mountain and you got robbed by the crazy painted-faced Hawaiian man. Do you think that everybody deserves the knowledge or wisdom that you gain from those experiences? Like, should they just have it automatically? And I thought about it, and I realized what he was saying. Like, we often get what we give. We often get what we give. And it is unfair in extent that some people might give more, but be in a place where it doesn't scale as much as people who have more. Like here being in America, we're all free, and so it's like we can do things and it can scale very high, when there's maybe somewhere else where they don't have the resources that it doesn't scale as high. So I kind of understand that, but in the sense of being in America, yeah, there's things that separate us, like me being white is an advantage, but at the same time, the entirety of what I'm realizing is that no matter who you are, even me, someone who's a white male, which is said to be like the most privileged person in the world, I am seeing how I am at disadvantage. I'm at disadvantage because I am homeless. I mean, I'm homeless. I mean, people treat the homeless way more worse than anything. Like, and I've realized that firsthand, even living in Hawaii. Even just living in a van's not homeless, but even then, there's a class separation. And so, the thing is that it's crazy. Because, yeah, some of it's conscious, like they're like, stupid hobo. I hate them hobos. But it's like, it's also a lot more unconscious, is what people don't realize. The way that people are treating me differently when I'm homeless is so unconsciously different. Like, they don't even realize. And I can compare it to my whole transition with seeing people of color. So, I don't know where in time I became programmed. That's the word I'm going to use. Is at some point in time I became programmed by this society to have an anxiety with people of different skin color, because I wondered if I was being racist, or I wondered if they were thinking about me thinking in a certain way. Like, just all this over-analyzation in the mind based off of the judgments, and not even just judgments, but the things that the world has told me. So assumptions, I guess you could say. And I realized that I treated those people differently, and it was unconsciously. People with other skin color. Not always, but a lot of time, like if I was walking down the street and it was somebody who was white, then I might more casually just let them come by. You know what I mean? Like I might not even notice them in certain situations. But then if it was someone of color in my moments, I always noticed that they were there. One might make the argument that they're just easier to see. I'm just kidding. But, no, I realized that that was my own judgments, that was my programming. And there's so much programming, even for other things for me, like people treating me how I'm homeless. Like, if they notice that I'm homeless, I mean, they can't always tell, because I don't look like homeless. But like carrying my sleeping bag around, obviously they know. Or popping out of the bushes at 7 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. It's just like, it's really crazy. And we all have these programmings. And I think a lot of it is coming out right now. And I think a lot of people are angry about it. And they have a reason to be angry. You know what I mean? Like, people of color have something to be angry about. I mean, I think we all have something to be angry about. Honestly, I think it's the collective energy. And for everybody, there's something within all of us that gets treated wrongly in this world by other people's judgments. We're all so judgmental and critical of each other. And untrustworthy of each other and unkind to each other. And so with all of that though, I also had a higher awareness realization. And that is that one being overanalyzing things, overanalyzing what people think. But two is, that's where it's not worth it to give that my focus. Who cares what people think? And, like, yeah, it affects your life, don't get me wrong. It really does affect your life. But we gotta give our focus to higher energies. You know what I mean? That's literally all there is to it. Think about it logically. See, I think people sometimes think of spirituality as like being unlogical, but at this point on my journey, I'm like, spirituality is logical. It's like, focus on the higher aspects of life. Yeah, you're in this reality. A physical reality is what we're in. And each chakra has its importance. Each aspect of life, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, they're all important equally. But if you're gonna look at the problems in your life, look at them with awareness. Like, instead of seeing them as problems and giving it all your focus. That's what I've been realizing my days is my days are scheduled around doing things that I have to do just to survive. And then maybe I give myself some kind of like free time. But it's like, what if we start our day going toward exactly what we want? Exactly what we want. It's like, that could take us further going towards what we want, rather than focusing on all these things, and we might survive, but we just kind of stay where we are. But if you focus on what you want, boom, boom, boom. I really believe it. I really believe our focus is everything, and I believe that that's why this world is trying to take our focus with money and all these things. That's why I don't care that I'm homeless. I believe that the universe intended for this to happen, and that I am blessed and I am guided. that's kind of where the energy is at right now. It's like yesterday was really like challenging, but today it's like, hey, well, I literally slept homeless last night, woke up, got my berries. Look at what I'm filming, using to hold my phone to film. Like, fuck it, bro, I'm gonna be a legend one day. I'm gonna be a legend. And, I mean, that's that solar plexus energy that's really awakening on the planet right now. That's why there's so much anger. It's because anger is a power. And the solar plexus is the beholder of power. So eventually, we're going to move into love, which is the fourth chakra of the heart, the beholder of love. But we're in the power right now. And there's a lot of different powerful energies out there. And so that's kind of scary because the power without the love is chaos. So, but today I did wake up feeling the power, and I feel the love as well. And so, grateful. And all we can do in this experience is what we want. That's the way you got to think about it. Like, I'm not going to tell you you need to be positive. I'm not going to tell you you need to be grateful. I'm going to say those things have changed my life. Being optimistic changed my life. But I'm going to tell you to be real with yourself and ask yourself what you want. Because if you know what you want and you just go towards it, you're going to get it. And when I really get down to the root of life, I'm like, do I really want money? Do I really want to be just safe, just survive? No, I don't even just really want to survive. Like, to me, I want to live. I want to live. At the end of the day, I realized that the wisest thing to do is to live. Because time and energy is all that we truly have. And it's not forever. It is forever, but it changes. It always changes. And so the only thing that we truly have is now. Embracing right now. Taking the actions right now. Where you want to go. And even just enjoying and being here now. Because it's all that you have. If what I said resonated with you, or you felt anything that I said, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And also like the like button, and subscribe. I'll be making more of these universe updates, but I'm sending you protection, passion, power,